It was a small town, the kind where everyone knew everyone. Anu, Samir, and Sarah were the closest of friends. They were all 13, curious, and always looking for adventure. One hot summer afternoon, they sat under the old banyan tree near the edge of the town. Samir threw a pebble at the ground. "I'm bored," he said. Sarah rolled her eyes. "You're always bored." Anu smiled. "Let's find something to do." That's when Samir remembered a story. He leaned closer, lowering his voice. "My cousin told me about the abandoned house near the fields. They say it's haunted?" Sarah's eyes widened. "Haunted?" Samir nodded. "No one lives there. People hear voices at night." Anu felt a chill. The abandoned house had always been a mystery. Its windows were broken. Its paint was peeling, and no one ever dared to go near it after sunset. The three friends stared at each other. Sarah broke the silence. "We should go see it." Anu hesitated. "Now," Samir grinned. "Why not?" They walked through the dusty path, the hot sun above them. As they got closer, the air felt different. The wind was colder, even in the summer heat. The sound of birds disappeared. Finally, they reached the old house. Its door was slightly open. A smell of damp wood and something rotten came from inside. Anu whispered, "Maybe we shouldn't." But before he could finish, Samir pushed the door. It creaked loudly, echoing through the empty place. They stepped inside. The floorboards groaned under their feet. Dust floated in the air like tiny ghosts. Spiderwebs hung from the ceiling. Sarah pointed at the wall. There was something strange. A drawing, faded and scratched. It looked like 3 stick figures holding hands. Samir laughed nervously. Creepy kids' art, but Anu didn't laugh. He had a strange feeling, like the figures were watching them. Then, from somewhere upstairs, they heard it, a faint sound, like a whisper. Sarah froze. "Did you hear that?" Samir nodded. Anu's heart raced. The whisper came again, this time clearer. It sounded like a voice calling, "Sarah." The 3 friends froze. The voice had said Sarah's name. Sarah's eyes darted around the room. "Who's there?" she called, her voice shaking. Silence. Samir tried to laugh. "Maybe it's the wind." But Anu noticed something. The air wasn't moving at all. It was still. Heavy. The whisper came again, this time from the staircase. "Sarah, come upstairs." Sarah stepped back. "I don't like this." Anu's voice trembled. "Let's leave." But Samir, he was curious. "It's probably someone messing with us." Samir put one foot on the old wooden stairs. The step creaked. Dust fell from the ceiling. Anu grabbed his arm. "Samir, stop!" But Samir shook him off. Just one quick look. Sarah and Anu had no choice. They followed him up. The stairs led to a long hallway. The wallpaper was torn. The windows were covered with thick dust. Every door along the hallway was closed. Samir walked ahead. Sarah and Anu stayed close together. Halfway down the hall, they heard it, a soft thud, coming from the last room. Samir grinned nervously. "See? Something's in there." He reached for the door. The handle was ice cold. He twisted it slowly. Click. The door opened. The room was dark. Only a single beam of sunlight came through a broken window. In the center of the room was a small wooden chair. And on the chair sat a dusty porcelain doll. Sarah gasped. Its glass eyes stared at them. Its painted smile was cracked. Samir laughed weakly. "It's just a doll." But as soon as he said that, the doll's head turned, ever so slightly, towards Sarah. Anu grabbed Sarah's hand. "We need to go. Now." Suddenly back, the door slammed shut behind them. Sarah screamed. Samir pulled at the door, but it wouldn't open. The room grew colder. They could see their breath in the air. Then, in a whisper, the doll spoke. "Sarah, you came back." The doll's voice echoed in the cold room. Sarah's knees felt weak. I've never been here before," she whispered, but the doll's glass eyes didn't blink. "You left me?" it whispered again. Samir banged on the door. Let us out. The door didn't move. It felt like it was sealed shut. Anu noticed something on the walls. Scratches. Dozens of scratches, deep into the wood. Words carved roughly. Don't look at her eyes. She lies. Run. Sarah backed away from the doll, but with every step she took, the doll's head slowly turned, following her. Suddenly, the sunlight dimmed. The whole room turned gray, as if a cloud had covered the sun. But there were no clouds outside. Anu's heart pounded. Samir, stop trying the door! Look! The doll's small porcelain hands began to move. Slowly, creaking. Its fingers curled like they were alive. Then the chair started rocking. Forward, backward, forward, backward. Sarah screamed. Make it stop! Samir picked up an old broom lying in the corner. He swung it at the doll. But before the broom could touch it, the chair toppled over. The doll was no longer there. Anu's eyes darted around the floor. Where did it go? They all looked around frantically. Then they heard a soft sound. Tap! 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 They looked down. The doll was standing on the floor now, walking toward Sarah. Its tiny feet made sharp tapping sounds on the wooden boards. Its glass eyes stared straight at her. Sarah stumbled back until she hit the wall. The doll stopped in front of her feet. Sarah, stay with me. Forever. Suddenly, the door burst open, but the hallway beyond was pitch black. Samir grabbed Sarah's arm. Run! They all sprinted into the darkness. The hallway seemed longer than before. The doors they had passed earlier were gone. It felt like they were running in circles. From somewhere behind them. Tap! 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 The doll was following. Anu shouted. It's getting closer! Samir pulled Sarah ahead. Don't stop! Finally, a faint light appeared ahead. They rushed toward it and stumbled back into the ground floor of the house. They slammed the door behind them and ran outside. But as they stepped into the sunlight, they realized something. The fields, the path, everything outside the house looked different. Sarah's voice shook. Where are we? The sunlight felt strange. Too pale. Too cold. The fields outside were not the ones they knew. The grass was black. The trees were bare, with twisted branches like claws. Samir looked around, panic rising. This isn't our town. Anu's voice trembled. I think we didn't leave the house. Sarah shook her head. No, we're outside. But deep inside, she knew Anna was right. They hadn't escaped. From behind them, the old house creaked. Its roof looked taller now. The windows were like dark, open mouths. And at one of those windows, a shadow moved. Anu stepped back. Something's watching us! Then, the sound came again. Tap, tap, tap! Sarah turned slowly. The doll was at the doorway. But it wasn't small anymore. It was taller. As tall as a child. Its porcelain face was cracked, pieces missing beneath the cracks. Something dark moved, like black smoke. The doll stepped forward. Its voice was louder now, echoing. Sarah, you promised you'd never leave. Sarah's heart pounded. I don't know you. The doll tilted its head. Then why do you still wear my ribbon? Sarah froze. She looked down. On her wrist, tied loosely, was an old red ribbon. She didn't remember putting it there. Anu grabbed her arm. Take it off, but the ribbon tightened, digging into her skin. Samir shouted, Run! To the trees! They all turned and ran across the black grass. The ground felt soft, almost like mud. With each step, it pulled at their feet. Behind them, the tap. Tap! Turned into heavy thud. Thud. As the doll followed. Growing taller with each step, the trees loomed closer. But as they reached them, they saw the branches were covered in ribbons. Hundreds of red ribbons, each tied to a cracked porcelain mask. Sarah's breathing was shaky. What? What is this? A voice came from all around. They all promised. Anu looked up. From the branches hung dozens of dolls, broken, shattered, lifeless. Yet their glass eyes all turned to Sarah. Samir grabbed a fallen branch. "We're not staying here." But before he could move, the ground beneath them shifted. Cold, pale hands began reaching out from the soil, grabbing at their legs. Anu shouted, "Pull free!" Samir struck at the hands with the branch. Sarah struggled, the ribbon on her wrist glowing faintly. From the edge of the forest, the tall doll emerged. Now it was the size of a grown person. Its face was almost gone, revealing the black, swirling void beneath. It reached out its long, cracked fingers. "Sarah, come home!" The hands from the ground tightened, the forest whispered. The air turned freezing. Anu looked at Samir. "We can't fight it! We have to break the ribbon!" Sarah screamed. "It won't come off!" The dolls stepped closer, shadow falling over them. The doll's shadow stretched over them. Its voice was everywhere. "Sarah, it's time to stay. Forever." Sarah struggled against the pale hands pulling her down. The ribbon on her wrist burned like fire. Anu's eyes darted around. Then he saw it. A rusted shard of metal sticking from the ground. "Sarah, hold still!" he shouted. He grabbed the shard and tried to cut the ribbon. The ribbon resisted, as if it were alive. But with one desperate slash, snap, the ribbon broke. The hands from the ground loosened. Sarah fell forward, gasping for air. The doll stopped moving. Its cracked face twitched. "No!" it whispered, voice deep and angry. The black smoke beneath its face began to pour out, swirling in the air like a storm. Samir grabbed Sarah. "Run, now!" They sprinted back toward the house. The forest shook. The ground cracked. The smoke chased them, hissing like 1,000 voices. They burst through the front door of the house, and everything went white. When they opened their eyes, they were back at the edge of the town. The old banyan tree swayed gently in the wind. The sun was warm again. Samir collapsed to the ground. We made it." Anu looked back. The house was gone, nothing but an empty field. Sarah clutched her wrist. The ribbon was gone, but her skin still had a faint red mark, like it had been there for years. They promised each other never to talk about the house again, never to go near that field. That night, Sarah lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. She tried to convince herself it was over. Just a bad dream. Then, she heard it. Soft, faint. Right next to her ear. Tap, tap, tap. She turned her head slowly. On her bedside table sat a small porcelain doll. Its cracked mouth curled into a smile. "Sarah, you came back."